Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So this video is not for everybody because after you watch this video, you might cross the line of no return when it comes to Wing Chun. So make a decision whether you want to stop watching this video now or you want to continue on. Because it is very likely that after you watch this video, you have crossed the line of no return on your Wing Chun, where you cannot go back anymore because you know what is going on. So please stop the video if you do not want to continue on. And I don't want to force anybody to watch what they do not want to watch. Now, for past almost 1 decade, I have planned to transfer whatever in the ancient Wing Chun to America. And with this channel and the books I have published, today it is mature that I can present this video to you because the support, the foundations have been migrated to California or Northern California, Silicon Valley to be exact. So that's why I make this video today. It is a long video, but you need every piece of information if you love Wing Chun. So Wing Chun today need to reform or else there is no Wing Chun left. It is this serious. Since 1870, when they create the 3 sets and the wooden dummy sets, until today, the Wing Chun systems, what you see today, is single-sided, it's oversimplified, it is not comprehensive at all. Thus, it never be able to face the martial art today. This is a technical reality that everybody who really love Wing Chun, who have spent decades in Wing Chun, must know. So, let's start. I'll show you all the technical details so that you can think about it. You can do research on it. I'm here just a person who have studied and dig out all this informations so that I can show you what is the truth in the history and what is needed to evolve. Because only evolutions to reform, to move forward, that everybody have a future. Now, this is the quote on Neo's phone call in the movie Matrix. He said that, I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it is going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. That is exactly what I want to share with all Wing Chun lovers. You need these informations. Only reform, there's a future, or else there is no future. Now, the first thing I like to share with you is a term called mechanism. This is a very important term, mechanism, because we want to get into in-depth of a martial arts systems. So mechanism, it means a system of parts working together in a machine, a piece of machinery, a natural or established process by which something takes place or is brought about. Know this term. Okay? Now, let's start 460 years ago. So, at the era of 1560s, General Qi Ji Guang is facing the Japanese pirate, which is making trouble in southern China. So at that time, General Qi Ji Guang comment on Chinese martial arts. Chinese weaponry is just flowery. Okay? It is useless flowery. That is what General Qi Ji Guang's criticisms on the Chinese Kung Fu at that time. The year around 1560. Well, the reason he did that is because the Chinese army or the Ming Dynasty army is no can do. They couldn't even face the Japanese pirate. Of course, in the Japanese pirate, you have the warrior, Japanese warrior, or the martial artist, who is expert in samurai sword and jiu-jitsu. Okay? So that is when what the Qi Ji Guang said here. Okay? Now, so Qi Ji Guang with his friend like Yi Da Yu and so forth start to reform. You know, if you read my book, Kung Fu 1560, the entire thing is there. Now, what is not written here is General Qi Ji Guang have a problem when his army fought the Japanese pirate. Got a problem. The effectiveness of his army is low. Okay? Even though he wins, still is low. Particularly when they face the samurai sword. So what happened is, at one of the battle, General Qi Ji Guang's army got a scroll of the Japanese samurai swords system and mechanism. After they win the battle, they got the scroll. And General Qi Ji Guang with his people took this scroll, analyzed the system, analyzed the mechanism. Okay? And using this technology, General Qi Ji Guang created his sword technology, which is counter the Japanese samurai sword at that time. Okay? Only after that, it became very efficient. For example, the samurai sword chopped down, the General Qi Ji Guang sword sweep out. So the idea is to cut off the arm of the samurai. When the samurai rush in, smash down with the sword, the Qi Ji Guang army is running forward, slash out. And the Qi Ji Guang sword is about 1 feet longer than the samurai sword. Why he can do this? Because he got the scroll. He knows the system and the mechanism. So this is what happened in the history. And it is recorded, okay, at 1561 in the battle. They got these books. And then later on, people verified, yes, the scroll exists. This is the Japanese. They actually verified this incident is real. So, Chinese Kung Fu is not your martial art movie. Burning of Shaolin, Jixin, Mui, everybody flying around, have this internal art. No, the real life is like that. Even General Qi Ji Guang learned from the Japanese samurai sword many things. They got the systems, they got the mechanism, they analyze it, they break it. So it's like in today's high tech, you break your competitor's pattern and you make it better. So you have a better product to beat your competitor's product. That is reality. Okay? Now, so just to recap what is from this book and add in more for you. So General Qi Ji Guang summarized that fighting is the dynamic momentum game, which is changing distance, changing angle, and changing level. Distance, angle, and level. There is fighting is a momentum game, okay? A dynamic momentum game. So, General Qi Ji Guang at that time already designed or categorizations on the long fist, the short strike, and the ground fighting. Well, so this is in this book. And then you have the 32 momentum, which is in this book. This writing is about the mechanism of the type of combinations of momentum play. This writing. Okay. So with this, you know that it is an entire system with mechanism play momentum games. And you know that this things is actually living in the same world like with the Japanese warrior. That is 460 years ago. Okay? No, the Chinese is not the have this the what ultimate martial arts that or the Qi internal nonsense. Okay. However, 460 years have been passed. What is the reality of this general Qi Ji Guang is mostly unknown, or purposely not to let you know. Okay? Now we dig it up for what is the reality, because this is America. We need to know what is the truth. So, Wing Chun 1870, as if you watch my past videos, that is a creations after the anti-Qing uprising losses. So the pro-Qing opera players or the actors may create this Wing Chun, even though they're using the same name Wing Chun as the 1850s anti-Qing Wing Chun. You know, watch my other video, it's very clear there. But it doesn't brought the system and mechanism over. Okay? So, even at the time of 1870, it doesn't have the full system like the 1850, and it doesn't have the mechanism. It turned into what? It turned into techniques. Techniques. It never talk about momentum. It never talk about the transformations of momentum and the mechanics of it. It talk about techniques, which is a complete different thing. Compare with what General Qi Ji Guang have, and compare with what the 1850s Wing Chun is designed with. Okay? So it end up after 130 years since 1870, actually 150 years since 1870, this is what you see today. Techniques. Techniques. Some kinds of strength handling. Movie make-believe of these techniques, fight that techniques. But the entire momentum handling of the systems and the mechanism has been lost completely. Okay? So that is what you end up today. That's what Wing Chun today is about. Well, you can argue, well, this can fight people. Sure, you're going to fight somebody who don't know martial art and so forth, so forth. That is functioning. But when you face a martial art, we don't even say expert, but the well-trained martial artist with a good foundation, you cannot handle it because you don't have the momentum and the system mechanism and so forth. So, what is mechanism? What is all this momentum thing? Let's get into it. Get really, really into it today. So once for all, you know what is going on. If you don't know the system and mechanism, it's like General Qi Ji Guang. You have a tough time to fight your opponent. Even like the General Qi Ji Guang, prior to he got the scroll of the system and mechanism records of the Japanese samurai sword, he have a hard time. Until he got that scroll, he break that thing, then he formed his systems, and then he get very effective to handle them. Now, let's get into one really, really serious problem in past 25 years. It never been solved in Wing Chun. In fact, nobody solved it even until today. Okay? So just take that example on this very, very specific particular thing, which is no Wing Chun Grandmaster solved until today, since 1996, is about takedown. Takedown. So this is only 8 seconds. This takedown. It is just 8 seconds. But since 1996 in public, this problem never gets solved. Okay? The 8 second, no Wing Chun component or techniques can solve that thing. First, it is open no now. Many Wing Chuners go study BJJ. And even though their t-shirts is putting Wing Chun, whatever lineage Wing Chun, you know they are doing BJJ. That is not Wing Chun. You know the Wing Chun they practice can never solve that problem. It is a reality. Who are we going to kidding? You think those judoka, the Gracias family in Jiu-Jitsu don't know that? In the BJJ don't know that you are using their technology, or the wrestler don't know that you are using their technology? Wing Chun do not have solution. Wing Chun today do not have solution. So Wing Chun 1870s until today have no solution. And I can share with you that later that even in today's world, Wing Chun still don't have solution. So today I want to share with you how to break this thing. Remember we talked about system and mechanism? Now just look into this. Even though this is just 8 seconds, within that, they have 3 phases. 3 phases. Yes, 3 phases. 3 phases, they have 6 mechanisms there. 3 phases, 6 mechanism execute in 8 seconds. If we have no idea that, for sure, you cannot break it. So it's back to 460 years ago. Why General Qi Guang loved that scroll of Japanese samurai sword system and mechanism? Because one be able to see through what it is. Now, if we use the General Qi Guang way of analyze this system and mechanism, there are 3 phases in this takedown. If you never train to face all these 3 phases, you know it's guaranteed game's over, because this 3 phase is like chain, one chain locked to another chain. It is not one thing. Your tan bong fok, your stance, your turning stand will never help you. Again, that's why people go learn BJJ. There's no solution. So what is the 3 phase? The first phase, the takedown, is you move in, you pound the opponent with, you jam the opponent's core. That is the first phase. You pounce in and you jam his core. The second, which is like a chain effect to the continue on this phase 2, is you clinch him. At the same time, you overload his body, his core. You overload your opponent's core. The third phase, after you overload his, you overload, you clinch him, you overload his core, you change the level and you completely uproot and taking him out, taking his core out. 3 phase. The beauty of this technology is 3 phase in 8 seconds. Just look at that. The Wing Chuners is just have to take the entire thing and he doesn't even know that this thing exists. And while whatever he trained for whatever years is inapplicable because it is something strike him that he have no idea what is going on. So today, with today's technology, we are better than, much better than General Qi Guang's time. We can analyze the thing. Even though I'm just using the General Qi Guang's analyzations to share with you 3 phase. So this is the beginning. This is the first phase. You pounce him and you jam his core so that you limit his activity. You jam him, his activity to handle his core. The second, you clinch him and you overload his body. The third one is you level shifting and you completely take him out. 3 phase, 8 seconds. Actually, it's not even 8 seconds. It's 6 seconds or something. Look at that. Yeah, about 6 seconds. So the beauty of a martial arts, a beauty of this takedown is within a few seconds, they have 3 phases. As what I just mentioned to you, if you don't know how to handle it, you never know what it is, you don't know what stuck you. And what you don't know is going to destroy you. Okay, I just shared with you the 3 phase. This is 1996. Unfortunately, lightning keeping striking after that 1996 incident. You see this? The same thing. It pounds in at lower level. This is pouncing and jamming the person. At this stage, it is already overload the person. The Wing Chuner get overload. At this, it is level shifting over. We know it. A variations in 2017 is between Xu Xiaodong and Ding Hao. Clinch in that distance, pounce in, clinch in at that distance, clinch in, overloading it. You look at the back leg here, shifting his, doing a level shift, a butting and over level shift over. Even in today's demonstrations in Wing Chun, you look at this. This is supposed to how one in Wing Chun be able to handle a takedown. Since you already know that 3 phase there, pounce in, you jam the body, jam the core, clinch in, you overload his body or his core, and then you level shift, you just completely remove him or uproot him or take out his core. You know this already. Now I want you to look at this video. You see, it never works. In this video, it shows that like it works, like you have the turning horse and everything, but you look closely. You look closely, this attacker. Does he doing the phase one, pound in and jamming the body of the Wing Chunner? Of course not. And then from the first phase not execute, the Wing Chunner turn, like the turning horse. And this person, because it's his awkward position, he didn't do the pound and so forth. He is an untrained person who don't know how to do takedown. He was moved sideways. Now you see the thing. Will it work? Will Wing Chun in the hand techniques, Tan Bong Folk, structure, mind power, triangle shape, put your weight behind, plum flower footwork, turning stance, like in Cham Kyu and so forth. Does it work? It never works. Why? Because whoever it is for past 25 years, today is 2023, this is 1996. So actually it is what, 1996, 6 plus for 25 years, for past 25 years. People is not be able to see through that three phase of what consists in a 6 seconds executions. I'm not saying that I'm the grandmaster of the world or whatever. I'm just saying that I'm applying general Qi Ji Guang's analysis on systems and mechanism. We see that thing. If you want to fight facing a takedown, you have to have solution to handle the first phase, the pounds in and jamming. The second is the clinch and down and overloading of the core. And the third thing, which is level shifting and completely uproot your core. Now you got to ask a question. Even if you know this, do you have any training or any component in your today's Wing Chun system or your 3 sets or your wooden dummy sets or your chi sao be able to solve that problem? Well, the answer is no. That is why after 25 years, you still see this type of demonstrations where it is a student who have no idea what is a takedown mean. And if people believe on that, you know it is disaster. In a real life, it is disaster. Anybody just go down there, execute the 3 phase continuously, the Wing Chun guy will gone. And of course, you can see that why is in past 20 years or so, Wing Chunners go study BJJ and so forth. And in the competition, even though they say they are Wing Chun, but come on, there is no Wing Chun there. It just BJJ. It just Western boxing. Admit it, this is technical stuff. If 460 years ago, General Qi Shi Guang be able to analyze this thing with the system and mechanism really detailed, you know, in this world, there are plenty of smart cookies. Who are you going to keep? That means your system doesn't work. The 1870s Wing Chun systems, which is evolved until today, doesn't work. It doesn't have the technology or tools to handle this, even just the three-phase. And that is being proven by time for past 25 years. That's why nobody be able to solve it. And end up that you have to learn BJJ, and end up that it is a BJJ. What you do is not Wing Chun. Don't kid ourselves. Don't cheat ourselves. As the Body Dharma says, don't cheat ourselves, don't cheat others, don't get cheated. You can making your movies, all the grandmaster, the mighty and everything. And then in the movie, you can beat this guy, that martial art. But sorry, you don't even know the system and mechanism, and you don't have the tools to carry on. And those who know the mechanism of the three phases, do they have to be some grandmaster or anything? Or as soon as they train and proficient in that way, they're going to take you down because you never have any tools, you never have any training on that. In fact, you don't even know what hit you. You don't even know there are three phases inside there. The first is jamming you so that you cannot move. The second is once they clinch you, they overload your body. So even though you say you have a structure, now it's like your structure being what? Being loaded by the opponent's weight. You can say, well, I have a structure. Okay, now if you are, say you are 180 pounds. Right now, your opponent, if he is 160 pounds, meaning that your structure now is loaded more than your usual body weight, is have extra 160 pounds loaded in overloading your structure. It's going to damaging your structure. And at that time, how can you struggle? You never faced this before. First, you never face that people jamming your structure. The second is you don't face that people just overload your structure. So it's like a water tower, which is good for, say, 1 ton. And suddenly you get overloaded by 2 tons of weight there. The entire water tower is going to go tilted or going to come down, depend on which part of the water tower have is the weakness, the weakest point. That's how simple it is. Again, this is not Hendrik's thinking. I'm not that smart. This is General Qi Shi Guang. Okay. So there's no solution in 1850s Wing Chun, 1870s Wing Chun. There's no solution from your 3 sets and wooden dummy and your chi saw. Face it. They dodge away from your top attack. They took your structure out away. Your footwork and everything's over. Happen again, until today, and people don't even know, and it is no solution. Now, so you might question me, well, does the 1850s Wing Chun, which you, Hendrik, say that have the system and mechanisms of the General Qi Shi Guang be able to face this? Since General Qi Shi Guang is designed his thing to face the Japanese pirate and of course the Jiu-Jitsu, which has come down to Shaolin Sword Strike. Well, let's see technically what happened. So the Shaolin Sword Strike is from, the Wing Chun is from Shaolin Sword Strike. So this is the frontal attack. This is the side attack. This is the back attack, meaning that when people rush in together, it can handle 360 degrees. So this is the footwork, which is you call, but actually it's not footwork. It's not walking there. It is the handling of momentum and mechanism. Okay? So there's the platform of the Shaolin Short Strike, which is the mother art of Wing Chun. And of course, it is based on, since Shaolin Short Strike is from General Qi Ji Guang, it is actually based on General Qi Ji Guang's, thus fighting is a momentum gain with changing distance, angle, and level change. And with these categorizations, and Wing Chun is supposed to be, or the Shaolin Short Strike, the 1850s Wing Chun is supposed to be proficient in the short strike. This is the way proficient, B and C. Even though it need to be able to handle this. Again, it's mechanism. What you don't know will destroy you. And it has to know all this, but Wing Chun is proficient in this. Wing Chun 1850, not Wing Chun 1870 and today's Wing Chun, okay? Make this clear, that is technical. Got nothing to do with Hendrik. This is history, okay? So, 1850 Wing Chun, because it comes from this type of technical background and the system and the mechanism. You have 4 hands. One is the leg managing. Leg arm manage the opponent's leg, meaning the lower part of the body until the hip. The second is the body arm, which is for jamming. The third and the fourth hand is for striking. So this is the weapon of Wing Chun. At the same instance of engage, the lower part of the body is attacking, the body is attacking, jamming, or loading the opponent. And then you have 2 more hands for striking. Again, the system and mechanism is here. Okay? Now, Wing Chun 1850 have another thing, which is evolved further. And that is the Mei Shi Zhuang's snake slide and qi cultivations to further refine the body, mind, energy, and the forearm handling at really, really close. Meaning, when the opponent get really, really close to you, that is where your snake slide, all this come. This is what the inch power of Wing Chun is about. The sticky and the inch power of Wing Chun is about, because you need those things. So we talk about the 3 phases of the attack of the takedown. Let's apply to this. The first phase is what? He's going to pounce in, and he's going to jam your body. And you know that Wing Chun have this 4 hand, right? So the first thing to handle the first phase, which is the pound in and jamming, is the Wing Chun 1850 inherit the shoot in. Okay, this is in the Chinese called shoot in. When your opponent pound at you, you shoot into him like an arrow. The reason why it is called shoot in is this front leg is like a bow, the back leg is like an arrow. It means that you shoot in with your elbow, your knee here is like the edge of the arrow. You shoot in. You're going to target his lower body, either his knee or his thigh or his hip. So the shoot in can come from different angles. Do a direct shoot in. This is direct. Stand this far away. Doing an angle shoot in. So this is the angle shoot in. So you can change direction. So if the opponent is pounds at you, you have many degree of freedom to shoot him with your lower part of the body. Of course, he's going to pound at you, he's going to jam you, but you, at the same time, you shoot him. That's how you play with the first phase. And of course, that is the different mechanism, even though it's called footwork, but it is not footwork as you think that walking around. No, this is how you want to shoot him. So if the opponent come like this to you, you want to use this direction to shoot him using a angular shoot in. When he pounds in at you, you use angular shoot shoot in to shoot him and jam him. And here you see that you are shooting him between his leg. You take him out. That's how you fight with the first phase. The second phase, when he try to clinch you and overloading your body, you have the recycling momentum, you have the entire torquing system, you have the force flow handling to go using the ground action reaction force, and you have your plum flower footwork. He's going to clinch you. He's going to attack you, continue on. If you both go through the first phase, and the second phase is going to try to clinch you, to hug you, and then to download. And you have all those tools. And this is the footwork at that time. When the opponent's there, you see this is front leg, this is you. You shoot him from here, you shoot him from here, you shoot him from different angle. You can play there. When he tries to clinch you and download you, you have this play. You have the recycling momentum. You have the handling of the force flow. You have the recycling momentum, so you have the force handling. So that is how you handle his second phase. When it comes to the third phase, he is downloading you. He wants to, what do you call that, to uproot you. That is where the 峨眉十二桩, the short power and everything come. This is how your body need to be able to take it. Okay? So when he tried inside already, he tried to overload you and lifting you or changing his level, your body have this 峨眉, have this 峨眉十二桩 snake slide and refining of handling your force flow to waiting for him. Okay, so you handle the third phase, and this is, of course, handling the action reaction force at that close. You're playing force flow there. This is a force flow play, right? The body don't move much, but the body be able to handle the force. Okay? So this is for the third phase. And of course, it has the mechanism such as this. The bracing, abdominal bracing. Okay? So you have this forward breathing bracing. Forward breathing bracing is abdominal bracing, which is using natural low abs breathing. Forward breathing brace using the natural abdominal bracing mechanism. Okay? All is mechanism, all is handling of the breathing and intra-abdominal pressure, so you can brace your body. So in general, abdominal bracing is to strengthen a person's core, protect the second back from injury, and give person more core stability. Okay, so there are two types of abdominal bracing in Wing Chun 1850. If you want to play like this, you better to have a good core stability. Okay? So the body be able to function even at really tight struggle. And so for the three phase, if you train in 1850s Wing Chun, you have this tools, this mechanism of your body of momentum handling to face him. If you never train in this way, it's going to hit you like this. It's going to hit you like this. You don't even know what hit you. That is the reality of technology. That's why General Qi Ji Guang need that scroll to design his sword technology later. Because once you analyze their system, you analyze their mechanism, you know how to break it. And if you don't know, you better upgrade your things. Otherwise, there's nothing you can do. So again, a Wing Chun Tan Sao is not as what people do, the Tan Sao pushing forward and all those is not. Look at like this, slow motion. This is the Tan Sao. You see that? You see that the first thing is the leg shoot in first. This is an attack. The second is the body already lean in to load it, to load the entire or to jam the opponent's body. This is the Tan Sao. And when you are here, those two hands is you attack at any time. While you know you handle him here, you handle him here already. Okay? It is not this. Standing here and moving your hand. So that is 1850s Wing Chun. So if you want to fight that three phases, you better have that thing, this technology from Qi Ji Guang, Shaolin Sword Strike, and then refine with Mei Zhuang, or else what can you do? When other people have nuclear bomb, you don't have laser gun, you have only arrow or spear. How are you going to fight them? Or if your opponent have this the infrared sensing, infrared body heat guiding systems of this missile. How are you going to fight them? That body heat sensing or guidance is going to chase your body. So you better know what it is. So that's what it is. So this is the reality. This is 1850s Wing Chun. It is not 1870s. It is not this thing. You think Tan Bong Fok can solve all the problem? You think your structure, your mind power, your triangle shape, your turning horse, your plum flower footwork, you put your weight in your back leg, you think you can solve this thing, just the three phase? Certainly it cannot be. For past 25 years, it's proven again and again. And even in today's demo, you know that if the person really going down, jamming this, loading his structure here, if the person know how to do that, the phase one, pounds in, jamming. Second is hugging the entire thing, clinching, and then just sit down with the body weight loading here. He have no chance to turn. But Over here, he doesn't. You look at that. His butt is part up there. He doesn't even loading him. He doesn't even jam him. He doesn't even loading him. And of course, you see, no loading. Of course, he can turn. Look at this again. Of course, his leg can turn. You see his leg here? There's no jamming. There's no pouncing, no jamming. There's no loading. That's why he can move. If you load, like if you have you used to be a 180 pounds and somebody right away hang you with a 160-pound load and you never experienced that before, you're going to get jammed there. You sit still, freeze, or going downward because your structure cannot handle it. Well, this can be done is because the person who go in doesn't go through that three phase. If you go the real three phase in the real tournament, we're not even talking about fighting in the ring where you can protect by rules. You know it cannot be done. You know it's gone. So that means it doesn't solve. So that means is the 1870s Wing Chun until today's Wing Chun, there's no solution. Why? Because it doesn't have that, like General Chi Kwang, the systems and the mechanism, which is comprehensive enough to handle your opponent. 1870s Wing Chun until today, the three sets, the wooden dummy set, the chi saw stuff is simply single-sided in or oversimplified system and oversimplified mechanism. That's why you say techniques. Well, in the phase is all play of the mechanism. Not to mention when people coming in, because they are good proficient in three phase, of course there are a lot of changing there. And if you want to face it, you have to be good at this, proficient in this too. At least you can par him. Not to say even who win. That has to be depend on how good you're training. So again, there are no such thing as say, oh, every martial is the same. The difference is the people. Nope. 460 years ago, General Chi Kwang already right in the history. That's not the case. Yet he's the guy who make war, okay? In the history, you can see that. So, stop to get into those internal for what? Chi for what? You cannot handle it for the real life. So, as what I say, since almost 8 years ago, I put the 6 core element to build the basis. And then later, I put the restricting Wing Chun to show the shoot in and all everything. And then lately, I just released the decoding Wing Chun for the breathing, the intra-abdominal pressure, and so forth. All is needed. And only like that, we transfer whatever the basic of ancient Chinese Wing Chun to America. Otherwise, we cannot say that. And with this channel, you have the basic. We cannot say, oh, this is the advanced. No, there's no such thing as advanced. And I'm just a guy who studied that, interested to transfer this technology. Okay, I'm not any grandmaster, but hey, technology is technology. You got to face it. So lately, when people ask me about all this thing, I say, well, it's in my book. And I opened a new group called Scientific Wing Chun 2023, so people can go discuss all this mechanism, discuss every pit. There is no God in this group. Like yesterday, I told one of our Wing Chun friends and say that the intention is like you're making it like in the university's research. Everybody can sit down there and reason and prove with technical. That's the way how everybody learn. The major professor, not necessarily he know everything. And in argument of technology, in a university or even in the high-tech company, respect is one thing. You respect your major professor is one thing, but you don't expect him as God. He don't expect himself as God. And when in this research and keeping research, that's why everybody grow. The major professor grow, everybody grow, the student, sometimes you can have a genius student, which is even better than the major professor, but the technology keeping grow, the mechanism, everything keeping getting more sophisticated. And that is the idea of this group. You cannot close everything down and living in the movie and thinking you know everything and keeping romancing the past. Oh, there's a Chinese monk and he can fly, he can internal. There's the king of Wing Chun. How can you say that? So if everybody want to be grandmaster, my question for everybody technically, like in the university, how the world is this 6 seconds? 6 seconds. Nobody solved it in the past 25 years. That is a disaster, okay? This type of stuff is general Qi Ji Guang. You have to solve it overnight. Otherwise, your man died. That's how serious it is. So this is what I like to share with you. As in the beginning, I share with you this, right? I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I come here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone and then going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. Because Wing Chun cannot afford all those romancing the past. Keeping, oh, my lineage, my grandmaster, my grand teacher is the king of Wing Chun. Why do you know that what is the opponent have already progressed? When they can do 3 phases in 6 seconds, and you have no clue whatever heck it is, you have no training for past 25 years, you know how serious it is. If it is a war, it means that you get completely wiped out because you have no idea what is going to hit you. Whatever you don't know is going to destroy you. So this is what the video I share with you today, okay? And this is history record. This is not me. I'm not the grandmaster. Today, it might not be Hendrik Santo. It might be somebody else. As soon as I do this research, this study, they'll see this. And by the way, research doesn't mean that go interview this grandmaster, that grandmaster. That's not research. You have all those kind of interview and all those research for past 30 years. You could not even solve that. The opponent, the takedown, have 6 3-phase and 6 act there. Not to mention, you don't even know what happened with General Qi Ji Guang. How is that research? How is that Wing Chun? So this is what I like to share with you. If you don't like my video, please don't have to watch it anymore. And I have warned you before, right? Don't watch this video if you cannot take it, because this is fully technical. If we don't know this, we're going to send our people out there to get them killed. And if we go say, oh yeah, I'm going to practice a BJJ, and then I'm going to put the Wing Chun, that's called cheating. And you're going to get laughed the hell out by other people. You think other people is idiot? Just go back to the 460 years ago with General Qi Ji Guang. Even General Qi Ji Guang need to learn from the Japanese. So don't tell me that, oh yeah, the Chinese know everything, even though I'm a Chinese descendant. And Qi Ji Guang is the national hero of Chinese in the past thousand of years, one of the top three. Okay, and he admitted he learned this from this thing. He need to learn. He need to reform. That is the reality.